Dude.
But actually,
I got super glue on my shorts. I bought these for $10. I'm gonna spend another 10 to get them dry clean.
Just get them dry cleaned. If you're gonna be doing a round robin,
I don't really. I got these at Goodwill. I don't know.
Friday. We're gonna be doing a round robin, except this first like 15 minutes is gonna be you trying to basically play the advocate for the other side about what you would normally do.
Oh.
Y'all remember that in the email?
Yeah. So we should do our actual opinions first, right?
No. She just said.
I know, but then we know what to switch on.
So do they say their opinion and then defend the other side?
Opinion, and then in the next 15 minutes we'll go to your option.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Guys, I love abortion. I think it should be accepted everywhere. It might be the best thing that ever was created in legislature.
Why?
It helps people.
Like how?
Gives people a choice. I love. It's just so great, honestly. Like people, it's like how can like it's just.
Be a little more specific. Explain a little better.
What do you mean? That's my opinion.
No, you're supposed to give like a valid reason why.
Because it's their choice. That's why. I think it's truly their choice to choose what they do with their body. That's all. Anyways, next person.
Oh, okay.
I'll change so you can go next to Thea.
I think that like abortion is. I would say that it's like gray area. I would say that it's kind of.
Okay, great.
I'm trying to form it.
Opposite
Okay, I
opinion.
think abortion constitutes as murder and should not be a choice.
Better too fast.
You're gonna make me choke.
I think that abortion needs to be regulated, and I think that abortion is wrong and it's not protected under the Constitution, and that it is borderline murder.
Abortion is murder. And I think it shouldn't exist.
Yo, what are you winning right now?
I
Serious?
think it shouldn't exist.
Why?
Play it, bro.
Give us your.
I'm down 3.
Murder.
Let's see if I clutch this shit.
Killing a baby. Why?
Great. So now, like, debate with each other or discuss with each other about your opposite abortion opinions, and then whoever does the best wins something. I just have to
Oh,
say.
so we're still supporting like our opposite sides?
Yes. And then whoever's like the best, basically opposite advocate wins something.
No.
Let me think about this. Let me put my thinking cap on real quick.
Yeah, y'all think it's the.
You want to go first then, if you've already thought of something?
Nah, it's
Ooh.
more like questions. Like,
You have questions?
yeah.
Answer that question.
Why do you guys think that majority of men in legislature should have a vote or control women's bodies?
Because they just happen to be the majority. It's not our fault. You know, if constituents wanted more female representation, then they should just vote for more females. You know, if anything, it's kind of the voters' fault.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't want men to be making choices about your body, like why do you keep voting men into power?
So-
Literally.
Yeah,
So-
like maybe women should just clutch up and start getting into office more. It's not
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, yeah. So true.
Yeah, and that goes to show why women don't deserve rights.
Oh my god.
Hey, they ain't taking this seriously, okay? They ain't taking this seriously, okay? I'm taking it serious.
Okay.
Satire.
Well, we said the word female. It's perfect.
Can we have to take this seriously and take a bullet on this?
I mean, if you
Y'all
think
joke
about
too much.
it, like just elect more women if you want more female representation.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's okay that men have a complete say over women's reproductive systems?
I mean, sure, they're the ones that got elected, so they like obviously like compared to the average American, you've got somebody in Congress who like has practice making laws, knows the law, like you know.
If abortion is a government issue and our government is consisting of men, then men have no choice but to take agency of the issue.
Yeah, you
So-
leave them no other choice.
So you're saying women shouldn't even try in order to or gain rights over themselves just because they should just accept men as superior because they're voting to office. Like they should just accept them that way.
I mean, there's
because that's
women
just
in
how it
office
is.
too, so like,
Yeah.
sorry, man, kind of gets like diluted a little because like you got women that can write legislation. And you also have women who don't support abortion. So does that mean that they like completely hate women? No, that's just they're doing whatever their constituents want. You know, like you gotta please your constituents. Like you want to stay in office, like you know, gotta be a people pleaser.
So you're saying it should be like you should just ignore this moral issue completely just because you have no chance of winning it all. Like you should just give up all your efforts because it's like, oh, we have no chance anyways. Let's stop fighting for abortion, our own human rights completely because you know what? We don't have a chance anyways. We'll just give up.
Pretty much.
I was
All right,
wrong to
ready?
think about
Wait,
it.
but guys,
You know
like,
that.
it's not like all the men in office are like against abortion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, great point, Sophie.
Diversity of opinions.
I mean, let's look, if we think about this more like, I guess like governmentally, right? Roe v. Wade got overturned. Doesn't mean that they're like, you absolutely cannot get an abortion, right? They're just giving that choice back to the states.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like the government has to tell you what to do. If anything, this is a win for states' rights. This is a win for individual rights.
Decentralized government.
Yeah, we are preventing tyranny in the government by giving this power back to the states.
Yeah, but for states that have like high regulation on abortion, what about the women in there that actually need abortion? Like, let's say for medical reasons they need an abortion, or maybe on a case scenario happened to be some girl got raped and is pregnant and wants an abortion. What about them that can't get it now because their state's rights are limiting them from getting what they need?
They won't move. There's always adoption.
Adoption. They can move.
So you're saying
Just
that
walk across the
that
street.
young adult that happened to get raped, you know what? Have that child get, I guess like be suspended from school, like change your life completely, not based off of what you chose, but because you were forced to do this. Like first off, you're going through trauma. Second off, you have to go through 9 months of pregnancy and keep reminded of that trauma every time. And not to mention actual labor, which is like, you know what they say, it's like 10 times more than getting kicked in the balls. It's like, it's downright terrible. And then after that, you then have to give away the kid. You're saying that's okay just because
Well, because we gave states' rights abortion rights, the government did that for the sake of allocating money to instead repurpose for sexual education. So if states actually followed through and actually enhanced sexual health and actually reinforce sexual education, then yeah, there's always going to be special cases of like rape. But with those reinforcement of laws, it's cracking down on the central issue, which is rape rather than abortion.
I don't think that makes sense because you're talking about sexual protection, which is usually when it's consensual, but when it's non-consensual, they probably aren't listening to the sexual education they're receiving.
Running out of things.
I know, me too. Everybody ran out of things to say.
Yeah, make it a little harder. I mean, the right to privacy, that's not like it's like implied with abortion, you know? Like, there's a little like gray area there, you know?
What about the Bill of Rights, the right to your own human rights? What about women's human rights? Why is that being taken
Well, I
away?
mean, the Equal Rights Amendment proposed by women did not get passed, so clearly, if we're following like historical precedent, government does not really care.
Alright, what about the actual human rights, the Bill of Rights that says all humans are made equal? What about them?
Alright, who wants to take this one, guys?
I can't.
I can't keep defending the Bill
I
of
can't
Rights.
defend, period. This is too hard for me.
My brain is
Alright,
like
no,
on
okay,
the
no,
reverse.
we just switch, bro.
Keep going.
Just switch sides.
My brain sounds like
They ran out of
They-
stuff to say. Do you
they
want
ran
like their
the
actual
communist-
opinions?
Yeah, sure.
For clarification, can everyone say their actual thoughts just so we
Yeah,
can
go round robin
So,
for actual opinion.
here into the yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'll start with the scenario to make it interesting.
Oh, awesome. I love this.
So let's say that your sister gets into a car accident and like she lost a lot of blood, and like let's say you two only have the same blood type. Like there's no other person that has the same blood type, and like she needs your blood in order to live. By law, it is required for you to give consent to give that blood to her, and you need to have consent over your body autonomy. That is a human right, that you have consent over your body autonomy. So unless you say, yes, you can give my blood, she's not allowed to receive that blood unless that person gives consent, even if that's going to save her life. So that is with consent over body autonomy. And I would say that same principle kind of applies to abortion, because yes, as like you said with the rape scenario, that's non-consensually affecting someone's body autonomy. And if they don't want to go through pregnancy and have a child and carry a child for 9 months without consent, wouldn't that like also have the same principle of being able to have an abortion if they choose that that's not what they want to do with their body? Which is why I would say that I think abortion should definitely be a choice for a woman to make, because it is under the same principle of right to body autonomy, and I think that it should be a choice.
Alright. Who would like to go next?
Showstopper.
Showstopper. It'll ruin the
Oh,
plan.
showstopper, guys.
Might as well get it up high before
Alright, I
crash
guess
that shit. Sorry.
You wanna like, okay.
Let her speak, guys.
Yeah, what happened to no
My
interrupting?
fault.
So I did a little bit of research on this because it is an issue I do care about. And according to the Pew Research Institute, 1 in 4 American women will have an abortion by age 45. So if you think about 1 in 4, okay, that's like 25% of American women. And I don't know how many women exactly live in the United States, but 1 in 4 sounds like a lot. So, and I think a lot of the stigma comes from like people try to bring religion into it oftentimes to make it taboo. But I think something we have to remember is that the United States has a separation of church and state. So it's kind of unfair for people to bring religion into it in order to bash other people who not necessarily always follow the same religion. And second of all, abortion is in of itself a medical procedure conducted by doctors with decades of research, and this procedure has been done oftentimes. And when you criminalize abortion, that leads to illegal abortions. This is like something we talked about with our gun control debate, right? Like, if you start putting more gun control regulations, then people will start turning towards like the illegal arms market, right? This is like similar in abortion, that when you start criminalizing abortion, people turn towards illegal and often like unsafe practices to try to receive abortions, and that causes the maternal mortality rate to just skyrocket. So if we truly are caring for the well-being of mothers in our nation, we should be offering abortion as a way for mothers to protect their health.
I agree with that. I am pro-choice, so I believe that abortion should be a thing. I will say, even though abortion should be allowed, it's also, I can see how some people are worried that it can be like an option for people like, oh, you know, I can just hoe around and then get an abortion and then boom, it's done. I understand how that can be an issue, but like, okay, I don't know how to word this. Okay, so obviously none of us are agreeing that abortion's a good thing, because hopefully at least, like abortion should, like it's a sad option, but it should still be an option because it's a safe option to get rid of something that will not be good for your health, or for both your mental and physical health. If you are not ready, like, I don't know, let's say you're 16 and you got pregnant and you're forced to have a baby, physically your body isn't necessarily ready to have something like a baby, especially progressing at like 9 months and then having to give birth and then having to go with the repercussions of that, and then obviously issues with your career. It could cause a whole lot of problems, and I think having an abortion, if it's safe, legal and safe, then it should be allowed. We shouldn't have to turn to unsafe abortion options. I think there should be safe abortion options that are officially legal. So we can have something called abortion clinics.
I personally think abortion is terrible thing. In my opinion, I don't think abortion should be legalized. Because, okay, I'm gonna make it personal and then I'll give facts. So, I wouldn't be alive if my dad believed in abortion. Because he saved my mom. Well, because a lot of complicated stuff. My sister was an accident, but not my dad's accident. And my dad was like, yo, don't have an abortion because I'll help you raise that, because that's what my dad is. And if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't be born and I wouldn't be born. So that's why I think abortion, and it's like my mom wasn't ready for it, but my dad took, but they took sacrifices, and then right now, me and my sister have a great life. So that's why I don't think, while abortions, you could say, you know what, maybe the child isn't going to be born into like a good place in life. But should that get rid of their opportunity to live? Because I feel like even if, you know, maybe they're born poor, or maybe the child or the mother isn't like healthy enough or in the right position or to raise them, that shouldn't mean we should just kill them, because they should at least get that opportunity. We should decide that for them. Also, my opinion is that the instant conception happens, that's when it becomes a human life, in my opinion. Because humans, I know you said something about religion and how it should be brought in, and I agree with that, which is why I'll say that we are all like DNA, right? Like your sequences and whatever, that exact sequence begins right when conception happens. So therefore that signifies life. And that's why I want to move away from the religion argument. Also, you said that the black market kind of, you know, you're talking about illegal abortion. If you illegalize it, it'll just increase like non-healthy abortions. But in my response to that, I say that by legalizing abortion, people utilize it willy-nilly. I don't think comparing it to gun laws is the same reason, because there's laws that limit people from using guns. But for abortion, women can get an abortion whenever they want if they happen to get pregnant. And there's no regulations on that. And that's why I also agree that, there actually are a lot of opportunities for women that, because, which one was talking about like the opportunities for health or something? I remember it was like, okay, anyways, women have a lot of opportunities if they're like sick while pregnant. Like abortion isn't their only way to like get healthy. Like there's so many hospitals that are built for women that are pregnant. Even if you have no funds, whatever, like you can be completely broke. Like you will get all the help you need in order to raise that child healthy until it is born. And then, that's it.
Okay, so in response to what you said that there's no regulations on abortion, there are. You, for example, can't get an abortion past a certain amount of weeks.
I think it's 21.
I think it ranges by like state, but most people, when they get an abortion, it's in the very early stages of a pregnancy, and the whole like life at conception thing, yeah, that's like a little bit slightly more religious and abstract in terms, but
Sorry.
But, like we can move past that. And then the second thing you said about like how you feel like legalizing abortion would mean that people can just get abortions willy-nilly. First of all, abortion is a very deeply personal decision, and it's also a decision that takes a lot of toll on the mental health of the mother. It's not a decision that comes easily. In fact, like most, like 74% of abortions are because the mother is like physically incapable of being able to care for the child. And when you mentioned how like hospitals can help like sick mothers so that abortion doesn't have to be an option, when abortions are necessary because a woman is sick, it's usually because there's an imminent like risk to the mother's life, because it's a ruptured fallopian tube, it's an ectopic pregnancy, or the child is like not gonna make it regardless, even if they carry to term, or if they carry to term, the mother's not gonna make it. So abortion is not a decision that's taken lightly, and it is a decision that requires a lot of consideration from the mother, but also from medical professionals.
Yeah, I understand that. And okay, I should do this. But in response to the what's it called? The life-threatening danger for either the baby or the mother. I believe that personally, I understand that if it's like life-threatening, then maybe they should look towards getting a C-section. Because while of course I understand that C-sections are actually safer than abortions, because abortion is actually really dangerous, especially when it comes to the later term. And so C-sections are safer, cheaper, and they're, I wouldn't say recommended, but I think most of the time people getting recommended to have an abortion is by their outside peers that are saying, right now you aren't ready for life yet, you aren't ready to have one yet, have an abortion, you aren't ready. And I think it's kind of like outside factors that are pushing them to do that. Also, I understand, I mean, it's brought back to the case like, yeah, they aren't ready for it, but then does that mean they should remove the opportunity opportunity for that person, should they just kill someone because of that? It's like it's between whether or not they'll have you already, and because you aren't ready, you're just gonna kill someone for it. Like I feel like that shouldn't be okay, especially since it's a human.
Just a quick question. Do you know what a pregnancy is? Yeah. So thought I should probably tell you what that is before you talk about C-sections. It's when a pregnancy occurs outside of the uterus. It's actually very, very dangerous. So unfortunately, C-sections do not work in that case. As well as if you have like a rupture or like severe or like the umbilical cord is like wrapped around the baby and choking you. Like unfortunately, C-sections would not in those cases. So a medical abortion is being needed.
I also have a question. What would you define abortion to be?
I think it'd be killing the baby that's inside of pregnant.
So you think
So you would qualify miscarriages as abortion? And
No,
why?
because that's not an outside factor killing it. It just dies inside.
So you think an outside factor killing the baby would be considered abortion?
So you think abortion is murder, right? So in murder there has to be my mock trial. Help me out here.
What conceptualizes murder is opportunity and intent.
So do you think abortion is equivalent to the legal definition of murder that's set out by the previous government?
I think they have the intent to kill the child, and they have the opportunity to keep it alive, but they choose to kill the child, which is intent.
What about the people who are like, oh yeah, no, my twin sister ate?
Oh, I feel like that has no recollection to abortion.
Does it? Okay. And also, how much do you think a C-section costs?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know either, but all I know is an abortion costs around $600. I can guarantee C-section would probably cost a lot more.
A C-section costs around $800 to $1,000.
You also have to
More
factor
expensive.
in recovery time, your hospital stay, all the drugs that were used during your operation, other hospital costs versus an abortion can be done in certain stages with just simple medication.
I also think abortion rules have only increased women mortality rate as women travel to different states to get abortions done. And with new rules such as doctors being like punished or like even imprisoned because of performing abortions has less qualified people doing illegal abortions that could actually kill the woman.
Yeah. Wait, actually, can I ask you a question about that? Do you think doctors who perform abortions should be criminalized?
Yes.
Okay.
Really quickly say one thing.
If it's illegal, like right now it's not illegal.
C-section.
I don't say it.
How much it costs?
National median allowed value for insured in-network C-sections, meaning this is after insurance coverage, was $16,943 US.
Yeah.
Also, for clarifications, a C-section is considered a major surgery.
Yes, it is a
As far as medical go.
Wait, so then, okay, so do you know what the Hippocratic Oath is?
Nope.
Okay, let me educate you. So the Hippocratic Oath.
Whoa. Don't make it personal. Be respectful of others.
So
What the freak, guys?
Yeah, oh, come on. That's
I'm
not,
trying
don't
to
be mean.
express my opinion here.
yeah, no, it's
Make it a
okay.
little
This is why
interesting.
it's an
It's-
important.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
a
no.
non-polarization
We like
podcast.
define certain terms so that like we all
Oh.
understand. Cause like you don't want to like throw out terms and be like, haha, I'm smarter than you because I know what this term means. Okay, the Hippocratic Oath is an oath that like doctors have to take, and it means that they have to like treat people who are like dying or sick because it is like their bound duty as doctors. So if you criminalize or punish a doctor for performing an abortion, you're asking them to go against the very oath that every single one of them has to take in order to become a doctor. So how would you like respond to that? Like a doctor's like, well, I'm violating the oath that I had to take in medical school in order to become a doctor. If I don't treat this patient, like this patient's gonna die if I can't perform an abortion.
And I get that. And in my opinion, that's exactly when I say that that child is exactly has as much value of life as the mother does. And that's why, I mean, if you're killing another person in order to save another person, I'd still count that as murder. Like I wouldn't say that you're saving another person, you're still killing someone.
And then one more question, since Sophia mentioned interstate travel because of abortions. Do you believe that people traveling to another state to receive an abortion or people assisting somebody to travel to another state to receive an abortion, do you believe they should be criminalized? So let's say, like, for example, we're in like Texas, which has like pretty strict abortion laws, and your sister helps you catch a flight to California to get an abortion. Does that family deserve to get criminalized? No?
Not because it's a state law. Like, I believe that the law should change in states, but I'm not gonna criminalize you for like utilizing the law. I'm saying it's completely morally wrong. Like, but that doesn't go against the laws that I support, so it's fine.
How would you respond to the rape scenario?
I'd say the rape scenario is, well, okay, pregnancy due to rape is actually less than 1% of abortions. And so therefore people that get an abortion because of rape is less than 1%. And therefore, just because of that small scenario, I understand that, you know, that little girl or that person is going through something terrible. But that doesn't mean that the child that's within them should face the punishment that the person that raped them should. I feel like the person that raped them should be completely persecuted and they should face the full front of the crimes. But that baby is innocent and they didn't do anything to deserve being killed.
Well, that baby wasn't even wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think
want and happening is very different, because a lot of these girls that want an abortion, even not rape, they don't want that child, and that's why they have an abortion.
it's true, but like, okay, so you're a victim of a crime, right? Let's say that like somebody like robbed you, okay? You're able to get like compensation for that. You're able to get like justice for that, right? Okay, but is getting an abortion not the same as like receiving justice? Like, you were wrong. Like, your bodily autonomy was violated. Like, your rights were violated now you have no way of like getting justice, and you have to carry this constant reminder of the crime. Like, is that not extremely traumatizing?
I understand that, but I think it's kind of unfair to compare like stealing and murdering a child and getting justice for that, because you try and get justice for getting stolen from, you go to jail, that guy goes to jail. It isn't justice killing someone because a crime happened. Like, it isn't fair to the innocent person that was brought into the situation.
Okay, so then, oh no, I actually lost it. Okay, never mind, go ahead.
So I think one of your like fundamental arguments is like also with the personal anecdote is that like all lives are important and that birthing a life should, like, a child deserves that life. But as like Evelyn pointed out, 70% of abortions are due to the fact that they can't physically raise the child, or that they physically don't want the child. And if they don't want the child and they're still going to give birth to the child, wouldn't that kind of lead the child to not even live a good life?
An option is also always an option.
Yeah, but at the same time, 85% of children in the foster system usually age out and are lived to a life of either immense drugs, incarceration, or living on the streets and robbery.
I understand that, and okay, this is a completely different like topic, but it's like when it comes to adoption, it coincides with my belief on abortion. Like, I agree that abortion is like really bad, and that if they don't want it, just go to adoption. But I know adoption is also bad, which is why I think that the adoption like age out limit should be up too. But it doesn't really come to that. But I understand that adoption, putting into adoption, whatever it's that you said, it leads them to like drug abuse and whatever. But it also gives that 20% that maybe would have made it out, not drug abuse. They don't even have a chance because you're just killing them outright. Like, those people that could have had a nice living life would have been happy, would have been thankful that they would have been saved. They don't even get the chance because their mother just didn't want to deal with them at the moment.
Okay, I have a question. So, mothers after they give birth, normally they have something called postpartum depression.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that someone who's 16 should even be going through something called postpartum depression at all?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Even because the thing is people with postpartum depression is they don't really incline, but like they feel the need to get rid of the child after. And also, what about the suicide rates and the depression rates of just having like to go through the pregnancy at all? Like, if you're 15 and you have a baby, you don't want to do it anymore, but abortion's illegal, then they might go into the option of suicide.
Yeah, I understand that. And when it comes to, okay, so there's actually this organization, or there's many different hospitals that offer like free care if you happen to be pregnant, because they want you to understand what it, they want you to avoid abortion. And did you know that once a mother actually hears the heartbeat of the child for the first time, it doubles their chances in order to keep the baby and avoid abortion? So that's why I believe, yeah, once I understand that maybe they won't support it and that they want abortion anyways. But then again, it comes straight back to the argument that just because they're feeling sad at the moment, does that justify killing someone? I think just because, okay, let me make this analogy. Yeah, this guy pisses you off so much. You're having an argument with your boy. You really want to punch him. Are you gonna punch him? Like, no. You hold in your emotions because you don't want to hurt that person. But abortion's that, but to an even more degree because you're killing someone.
I have to just disagree with your point about the heartbeat. Like, yeah, I understand that usually, like, if you hear a heartbeat, you're gonna be like the mother instinct. You're probably gonna be more inclined to unconditionally love the child. But like, we have to think in the sense that abortions don't happen when like that baby is fully developed by the heart.
Can I jump off that and ask you a question? What do you think constitutes like a person? Like,
Right when they're concepted.
okay. So when would you consider a clump of cells a person?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that's where we like differ in our interpretation, because like to me a human is someone that has like conscious feelings, that can like feel things, that can think, like has like some kind of vague awareness of like what's going on around them. And typically that does not happen until around the 24 to 35 week mark, when a fetus actually has consciousness, and most abortions are not happening that way into
I think it's like
pregnancy.
I think for more lenient laws, like for pro-choice laws, they allow abortions up to that mark, because after that mark, then that's
The baby is
constituted.
conscious, can feel pain, like, but everything before that, like, it's a clump of developing cells that like can't feel pain, doesn't have a conscious, like, so I don't really know if we could constitute that as a human being. I think that's where we like differ in our interpretations.
Yeah. So you believe that presence precedes essence, right? It's like the body happens first and then the soul comes in later. Yeah.
This is existential.
I think that's kind of more of a
atheist, and I
religion
don't really
at the
believe
same time.
Because
I'm going off like scientific.
Oh, I'm just having trouble understanding. I understand, like, okay, yeah, once they start feeling emotions, but even up till then, what differs from them feeling emotions? It just yeah, sorry.
Not really like feeling emotions, just like being able to feel things, like feeling sensations, like if I like tap, like in like I don't know, like feeling like sensations, like Sophia mentioned that like most of their cutoff is like right before like the fetus is able to like start feeling pain, you know, and most abortions are happening before that, before like the fetus has any kind of like awareness, and it's just still like a developing like clump of cells basically.
Yeah, I guess that's just different.
Interpretations, yeah. But I think that's honestly the core of the argument, though. Would you classify an embryo to be a human being?
Okay, next question. Do you think that the government should have the authority to say like what like
How-
this whole debate? Like,
Yeah, like, do
what
women
they're to do
have
this?
the right to choose what they do with their body? Do you think government should have a say in that?
I feel like the fetus isn't part of the body. It's a different person. That's why I argue whether it's a person or not. From the age of conception or from when they start feeling things, you argue, or that's why we were having an argument of when are they a person. And that's why when I believe that they're a person right when they're concepted, that's why the government should have the right to protect that person that was concepted, because they are a living person and the mother. They should have the right to protect them.
But isn't like the women the host body, in the sense that if it is another person and the women doesn't consent to have that baby, that it does violate their human right to have personal autonomy?
I don't think so, because just like how mothers, even after they have a kid, right? The mothers have a need to feed and take care of that kid, just like how they would to feed and take care of that fetus. If all of a sudden they just stop feeding that kid, they'd be incarcerated, right? Because of child cruelty. And that fetus is the same thing in my opinion. Because if they start neglecting that child, then that should be a crime because they're killing that kid anyway.
So you mentioned your own personal anecdote about how your dad stepped up and helped raise like you and your sister, right? But that's not the case for everyone. You know, a lot of women are forced to go through pregnancy and forced to have a child without a supportive partner or support system around them. So in that case, they feel that an abortion will be better because they, one, don't have the means themselves to take care of the child, and two, don't have anyone else around them to help them support taking care of this child. And yes, there's organizations, yes, there's like local communities and stuff, but like their core support system is just not there. So how would you respond to that? Because like you're one case of like an extremely like a scenario that ended up being really positive, but that's not the case for a lot of women. So what do you say to that?
Yeah, I understand that because pregnancy is like, obviously you're going through changes physically and mentally. It's very hard. And I understand that because you're going through something like really like cognitively could be traumatic. But that doesn't leave you the option to, I keep saying this, I'm sorry for repeating it, but it's like it doesn't give you the right to kill someone. Also, after, again, it goes back to you're saying how I'm a rare case, right? Like my dad stepped in and helped. But in the rare case that my mother wasn't able to have my dad step in, I would still have wanted, well, personally, I would still be better for her to have had the child and maybe put my sister into adoption. Because right now, if my sister probably, in my opinion, my sister probably would have thrived or even had because she had the opportunity to live, I feel like that's what I value. And because of that, if she were to be killed because of adoption, then she wouldn't even have that chance to, and she wouldn't even be able to live at all.
I think we all agree that like, abortion isn't like when we say we're pro-choice, it doesn't mean we're pro-abortion. Like yeah.
It's definitely not something that should just be happening so often. It sucks for sure. It's just like, if there's an option, I'd rather have a safe option than an unsafe option.
Okay guys, so what is the double crux of this discussion? As in like, what is the belief where if you guys agreed on that belief, or like if your opinion on a certain aspect of the issue of abortion changed, that would change like your perspective on the entire issue of abortion. So like for example, for Ryder, if you believe that life didn't start at conception, that would probably change his opinion on abortion. Like what's like the most fundamental belief?
That's it now. When the humans
I think that's the area where we differ, but I think the main thing we can all agree on is that abortion is like a very difficult choice that like, should not be taken lightly. I think that's like something we all agree.
wasn't it supposed to be like
what's
if you
something that
can't do
would
something
modify
opposite?
your argument?
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
if like the three of us believed.
I guess.
Excuse me.
I was like, so knock.
I don't know because like I feel like if it was like a scientifically proven fact that yes, life starts at conception. I don't know how I would feel about that just given how much effort and like how much of an enduring task pregnancy is. And like I understand that yes, that's life, but at the same time, this is just my personal interpretation, but I just don't think that 9-month journey of what a woman goes through equates to that likeness birth at conception.
I think for me, I would go off like what has been scientifically researched and proven, and what information is being provided by the medical professionals. Since like me myself, I don't have experience in the procedure, or I don't have like experience in that field. So if like trained medical professionals and the scientific research is outlining like this to me, then I think that's what I would choose to believe, unless something new scientific evidence were to emerge proving me like wrong.
Sorry, I have to cut you guys off because we need to move on to the next topic, which is
Can I say something first?
what do you want to say?
I actually support abortion.
What?
What?
You're just trolling?
I had to, it wouldn't be interesting if I said
Bye.
Bye.
Are you serious?
I was really sorry.
Wait,
like-
yeah,
He actually deserves the prize because he's been playing.
he totally does.
He played
bro.
all of us.
I thought even with that he argued the best
Oh,
too.
I was like, fuck. Tired because we tried to switch and we were so bad at it. It was so obvious, and he's been.
I was good at that shit.
It's talking about the camera. You were gagged. Like, what's
I
something
was.
to say?
No, well, because he did make good points. Like the points that he made, he defended them well.